Hey everybody, it's Mr. Dudley here again with you today. I'm going to go over your lesson from Tuesday where we started reading the book called Planets. This is from our lesson on April the 28th, and that was your Tuesday's lesson. So follow along with me as I go through your Tuesday lesson together with you. Type your name here every time so we get credit for it. I'm seeing some people not capitalize their first and last name. Please make sure you capitalize your first and last name. A name is a proper noun, and we always capitalize proper nouns. Choose your teacher. Where's the next button? Oh goodness, there it is. Silly me. Alrighty, so I'm not going to watch the video with you. You should have watched the video before you started your lesson. It just kind of gives us some more information about the planets, the 4 rock planets, and then the gaseous planets. So it gives us the details for all that in this video. Excuse me, I'm not going to watch that with you today. It says today's text is about planets, which can look like pale stars in a night sky. What do you think about when you look up at the stars in a night sky? So I could have answered this, should have answered this with a short 1 or 2 sentence answer. And when I look up at the night sky, what I wonder is what is all out there. So like when I look up in the night sky, let me write that as a complete sentence. When, oh my goodness, I look up into the night sky, I think about all of the rest of the galaxy and what we have not discovered yet. Because the galaxy is a huge place and we haven't been able to find everything out there. It's just so big. And so that's something that's curious for me. When I look up at the night sky, I just wonder, like, what's all really out there? I think about the rest of the galaxy. So let's go ahead and dive right into the text. To read for gist, I'm not going to read that anchor chart for you. It's the same thing we do every time we read when we read for gist. So this is another video of me reading pages 4 through 7 in the book called Planets. So for me to be able to fully show you how to answer this question, I will have to go to the video. I'm not going to watch the whole video though. I'm just going to look in the areas to find my answer. So the first question is, what are the most important ideas on these pages? So that's asking me about the main idea. And then the second question is, when you look up into the night sky and see a bunch of bright lights, you are mostly seeing the sun, planets, the moon, or stars. So I can go back in here and find the answer to these questions. I'm not, like I said, going to go into the video itself. I'm just going to go find where my answers are at, skimming through very quickly using this drag screen. I'll go through to the first page. And on this first page, it talks about circles in the sky. You're bright enough to catch my eye. That's talking about stars. And then on the next page, it tells me space clues about the Milky Way and other things that are out in the galaxy. And then it goes to the next section, which talks about planets, introducing us to planets and what they look like in the night sky. However, this whole section is talking about stars, and it talks about planets a little bit, but it's mostly talking about stars. And when we look up in the night sky, what we see is stars. So what are the most important ideas on these pages? Well, the most important ideas are that when we look into the night sky, we are seeing stars. Planets reflect the light from stars, and that is how they glow at night. So to me, that's important to know that when I look in the night sky, I'm seeing either stars or I'm seeing the light from stars reflecting off of another planet. So when I look up in the sky and see a bunch of bright lights, that's a key word, a bunch of them, meaning more than one. I know that there's not more than one sun. I know that there is more than one planet. I know that there is only one moon for Earth. There are more than one moon, but for the moon is talking about Earth's moon. There's only one of those, so it cannot be the sun or the moon because I'm looking for an answer where I can see a bunch of them. Can I see a bunch of planets in the night sky, or can I see a bunch of stars in the night sky? Well, you might have gotten tricked and picked planets because it told us that whenever we look in the night sky, the lights from the stars reflect off the planets, and then what that makes it where we can see them. But that doesn't mean that the planets are making the light. So when it says I look up and see a lot of bright lights, what I'm seeing are stars in the night sky. So your answer for that question should be stars. Let's go to the next page. This is reading pages 8 through 9 in the book. And these pages, let me load my video, are talking about the sun and how the sun is our star. So the sun is the most important star in the galaxy. Our planet orbits the sun. The sun makes a lot of heat and light. Even 1,000,000 Earths can fit in the sun, it was saying in here. It also told me that the sun is like 1,000 times hotter. Or let's see, what does it say? 100 times hotter than a hot summer day. So if it's 100 degrees in Houston one time, the sun is 100 times hotter than that. So 100 times 100. Do that math on a paper, and that's how hot in degrees the sun is. Very, very hot. So what are the most important ideas on these pages? Well, first, the sun is the most important star in our universe. That's an important idea from this page. I know that because it tells me the sun is our star, and it's important to me as a human that lives on Earth. So that's my star or our star as humans that live on Earth. Another important idea, the sun gives off a lot of light and heat. Those are important key things that I learned from these two pages, reading pages 8 and 9 from planets. And then my next question says, how many Earth planets could fit into the sun? Well, if you would have went back to your text, it tells you right here that 1,000,000 Earths could fit inside the sun. So not 100, not 1,000, not 1,000,000,000, but 1,000,000 Earths can fit inside the sun. Now, I again am not going to read through pages 10 to 15 again for you. Pages 10 to 15 discuss the solar system. It also discusses the inner planets or the rocky planets. Those are the first 4 planets in the solar system. And then it talks about Earth a little bit. And that's all that it talks about in pages 10 to 15. It talks about the solar system, the 8 planets and how they orbit the sun. It talks about the Earth and why it's important. And it talks about the 3 closest planets to the sun. So what are the most important ideas on these pages? The first thing that is important is that all of the planets in the solar system orbit the sun. That's an important idea, very important to understanding the solar system. That's very important. Another thing that I learned in pages 10-15 is that Earth is able to support life as we know it. I learned that in the section about Earth. It tells me Earth can support life as we know it. It shows me trees. It shows me animals in the ocean. It shows me other animals on land itself. It shows me that Earth is the only planet able to support life as we know it. So it says, why then is Earth the perfect place to support life? The first answer says it's not too far or too close to the sun. It does say that in our text. That's why Earth is so important up here. If you go back to the video and it says your planet Earth here, it tells us in the text that Earth is yet close enough so it's not too cold, but it's far enough where it's not too hot. So that keeps a perfect temperature for life. The second, the conditions are just right for life. That's kind of a good answer. It is. I will say that's kind of a good answer. I'm going to keep that one as possible. The next one, Earth is the third planet from the sun. That doesn't tell me why it's able to support life. Not a good answer. Earth can support life as we know it. That's restating the question, telling me that it can support life, but it's not supporting because that doesn't tell me why. What tells me why it's the perfect place is because it's not too far or too close to the sun. B here, the conditions are just right. That tells me the conditions are right, but it doesn't tell me why it's the perfect place. The answer that gives me a better answer is our answer. It's not too far from the sun, so it's still warm enough, but it's not too close from the sun either, so it's just the right distance away from the sun so that it's the perfect place to support life. Let's go to the next and last page we read for the day. This page 16 and 17, we're talking about the gaseous planets, the last 4 planets, large planets, should I say, in the solar system. And so what are the most important ideas on these pages? That the last 4 planets in the solar system are gaseous, meaning they're made out of gas, planets made up of ice, gas, and other chemicals. So it tells me in the text what the 4 gas giants are made mostly of. And if I would have looked back in the text, I would have found this answer. The 4 gas giants, what are they made mostly out of? Well, the 4 gas giants, that's showing me a ring right there. It doesn't tell me what they're made out of. Let's see if this page. Beyond the inner planets, there are 4 gas giants. They are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. That doesn't tell me what they're made out of yet. Let's keep on going. It says these huge planets are made of big clouds of gas and liquid. Ice and dust, that's what their rings are made out of, right? Air and gas, that's not in the text. Gas and liquid, that's word for word in the text. And water and air is also not in the text. Gas and liquid is right here. It says these huge planets are made of big clouds of gas and liquid, telling me that that is what the 4 gas giants are made mostly out of. Great job. Is this an informational or fictional text? Well, it's telling me about something that's real, so it's informational. What was the most important information that the author shared in this text? The author showed me the differences in the planets in our solar system. What do you think is most interesting about what I read today? Well, I did not know that the gas planets were made of gas and liquid. That's kind of cool to me. So, that the gas planets are made of liquid and gas, of course. That's why they're called the gas planets. And again, we have this mostly every day for reading. I'm not going to watch Miss Daniel's video. I hope that you did, as she explains the read for gist section for the pages that we were reading today. She goes over the key understandings from the book and what we read today, and that's important for you to watch. If you did not, make sure you watch those videos. They will help you. I hope this video helps you understand why the answers were what they were, and I hope that you have a great rest of your week.